Hello, good morning, and welcome to the Pueblo House. My name is Shannon Romero. I am the Cultural Education Specialist here at the Indian Pueblo Cultural Center. I'm here today to teach you a demonstration about the yucca cordage for the Pueblo Revolt. And so before I start, I'd just like to introduce myself a little bit more. I am from the Cochiti, Pueblo. My father is Elmer Atencio. He is Cochiti in Santo Domingo. My mother is Gloria Atencio. She's from Peru, New Mexico. And I like to acknowledge who I am because I think it's an important part of who we are to show who our identity is, where we come from, and how we relate to the land. So I would just like to welcome you again for being here and allowing for me to show you our demonstration. So what I did this morning is I harvested a few yucca leaves from our resilience garden. Now this is from a little yucca. For this demonstration, we're going to be doing a smaller one with the resources that we have available. So we're going to be using this smaller yucca plant. And so I wanted to let you know also before we get started, before I did harvest our plant, I went out to the garden. I went and said a prayer. Before I took the leaves, I asked it for permission. I said a prayer and I gave it an offering. And so before you're doing anything like this, harvesting any kind of living plant, we ask that you respect our living things and give it some food, give it some water, give it a prayer before you go ahead and harvest it. And so what I'm going to be doing is taking a few of my stone tools that I have here, and I'm going to break apart the yucca, the skin of the yucca, to take off the fiber and expose the fiber to what we're going to use for the cordage. Like I said, we're using the resources that we have available today, so we're showing you with a smaller set of yucca cords. So you want to take a rock or some kind of utensil and start taking off the green skin. Once you start doing that, you're exposing the fibers of the yucca. So you want to take off as much skin as possible. Take away the green stuff. You can start to see your fibers are going to start to break off. This fiber is extremely strong, and some can be used for different kinds of cordage or rope also. Sometimes it was used to make sandals, the sandal strings. Some of the other yucca, like the Spanish dagger, the banana leaf, you can make sandals out of them. So what I'm doing right now is I'm just breaking apart the fibers, breaking them apart and with my fingernails so that I can weave them into the cord. You can see this yucca has a lot of different fibers and strings. You can also use it for a paintbrush or different things. I'm going to start my little wrappings. Used different learning styles. Different people have different way of wrapping their cordage. This just works easiest for me. And add some more. So I'm twisting both of these cords to start at the tip. I'm twisting, and I'm twisting the opposite way. And then you're going to kind of want to twist them back together. It works better when I do it on my knee and I roll it. First twist, and then you can just twist and start twisting, and then twisting. And so you can start adding on to your cordage. People do different. Sometimes you can twist them up different ways and just keep weaving them in. Sometimes what people do also is they just start adding to it just to make it longer. So we'll just start adding to it, ours. I'll put this here for me. Adding more cordage. Sorry, I'm just adding more yucca cordage to make it a little bit longer. And I'm just keeping twisting and twisting. So we're doing like a double twist. And we can just twist it in. We're kind of weaving in our yucca to make it longer. Keep adding pieces. And just keep turning. I have this nice little water bottle right here. When you start working with your cordage, it starts getting dry. So I add a little bit of water just to make it more pliable or easier to fold in. When it starts getting dry, it's harder to wrap the cordage. I find it for myself. For me, my experience, it was better to use the fresh yucca, and you can use dry yucca, I think, and re-wet it or soak it, because if you're, like I said, if you're going to be harvesting, you want to use what you're going to take and not waste it. So if you have the yucca and it's already dry, yes, you can use it. I would recommend you don't waste it if you already have a dry one. So I'm just gonna end it right here. You can see we have this nice cordage, and I'm just gonna tie it on the bottom. And our string. And then I'm going to do the 5 knots here. This yucca fiber is very strong. This rope is very, very strong. Just imagine all the prayers and that went with making the cordage, and during that time of the Pueblo Revolt, and using as a way of communication, as a way of communicating with each other. And so this is my small demonstration for you today. I thank you for joining us, and I hope that you come back to the Indian Pueblo Culture Center and visit us when we open again. Thank you again, and many blessings to you and your family.